Good morning from somewhere. We are an hour north of Memphis. We're gonna be ending our week. Y'all, it is August 9th. I haven't done a video in a while. It's so much to catch you guys up on. I just saw another YouTuber. I think maybe the algorithm is starting to put other people on the same type of journey in my algorithm or whatever. But it kind of sparked me to do a quick video since I'm doing my break. I'm walking Pooch. Dude, say hi. Anyway, August 9th, I started my sober journey on July. Really, it was July 31st into August. June 1st. No, the end of June into July. That's when I started. I stopped counting, and I think I heard some advice from somebody who said, not to count. In the beginning, I had no choice but to count because the first week, matter of fact, maybe the first 2 weeks was the hardest. So like every single day, I still had cravings, but I still wasn't drinking more water, drinking tea, drinking coffee, whatever. But I was still like every day reminding myself like, oh, I didn't even think about drinking today, or I didn't drink today, or I thought about drinking, but I didn't drink, or I'm in a store and I walk straight past the alcohol section and I look back and I'm like, oh shit, I walked right by it. Like I didn't even pay attention. But while I'm here, let me go and look at this shit that I used to consume myself with every day. Cracking jokes on myself, whatever. But so a lot of stuff has happened. First week was the hardest, I would say. In fact, let me not tell that lie. The first week was actually pretty easy for me as far as knowing that I was determined to get away from alcohol how I was. So the first week, I was sure I wasn't going to drink. I went out with my friends. I went and visited Houston and went and saw my friends. For the 4th of July weekend, we hung out. We went out to clubs and stuff. I was all around drinking. But I just knew in my mind when I had took my last drink, I was like, you know what? I never want to feel like this. I don't want to feel like this no more. Like all the things that were stressing me and causing me depression and all those things in my life, I was like, they're gone. Like I don't have to live in my memories. Like I don't want to feel like this anymore. I didn't know if the end game was going to be I never want to drink ever again. I just hate drinking, because the truth of the matter is there was a time in my life when I was able to have drinks and just, not be the drunk person or not, whatever. So I was like, I don't know if the end game is like total sobriety, but the end game for me definitely is to never be in a position with anything, a substance or anything in my life where I'm relying on it to just numb pain or function in the world. That's what I know I wanted. So I made it all the way to the end of July. There was a couple of times where I had extreme cravings or I had some problems pop up that was stressing me out. And I was just so focused on not drinking that it didn't tempt me to want to drink. Towards the end of July, my job had me off for an extended period of time. And for me, being at home is still quite triggering for me, just because I have a lot of bad memories in the place that I'm still living right now until my lease is up and I can move. So going home for a day or two or maybe 3 days here and there is good for me, because I get to unwind and relax and be in my space. But anything beyond that, it starts getting me antsy, and I'm just in the house. I don't have friends really to like go and do things with, to get out and be active. It was very rainy during this time, so it was like nowhere to go. I was trapped in the house, just me and my thoughts. I journaled, I listened to music, I watched TV. but I wasn't working because they just didn't have the work for me. And I just found myself really, really, one night, like, just in my head, like they say about the voices, like the alcohol voice, that thing showed up, and it showed up strong. And it was like, well, you can just have a drink. I mean, it's just you. You're not drinking because, something's bothering you. You're just drinking because, you deserve it. It's the end of the month. You made it this far. Just, you have nothing to do. You don't want to spend money going out and being the only person at a bowling alley or something. Just go and get a. And you know what? I called my friend and I told him, hey, look, I'm getting antsy. I don't want to go out by myself. I think I'm gonna just go to a meeting. And I hadn't been to a meeting in so long. It's been years. So I ended up going to a meeting that night. I felt so awkward being at the meeting. I got the first date chip, even though I had already been almost a month at that point. But it was my first day back at a meeting. I kind of felt those ways I used to feel about meetings. It's like, some of it is spiritual, some of it is kind of sort of religious, some of it is like cliquey, but very welcoming. I'm not saying anything about AA meetings or groups. I just never really felt like, oh, this place is for me. Mainly because, I'm not sure, and it's the honest truth, I'm not sure if the end goal is ultimate sobriety. Because I don't know if, like, that is me. That is my life. My thing is, I had a drinking problem and I went hardcore sober. I don't know. I just don't subscribe to it fully. I believe in total autonomy when it comes to, making decisions for our life. And that's just one that I haven't committed to. Just like I don't commit to any one religion or anything. Like I kind of free will through life, and those aren't excuses for anything. But I know one thing, and one thing I do know. I have yet to desire alcohol in the way that I used to when I was going through my struggle. Even the thought of feeling any type of tipsiness or buzziness or whatever, I cringe. I gotta be aware. So, with that being said, a guy that I had met last year sometime, we had been talking for a while and then we stopped talking, but he popped back up on the scene some way, somehow, while I was home last week because I was off for like 5 days again. And I said, screw it, I'll go and hang out, and do something just to get out of the house. So I go, we hanging out. Of course, I get to this place, he has a drink and we're talking. The vibes are good, And he's like, you want a drink or anything? I was like, yeah, I'll take one. It kind of like, we were already in conversation because he picked me up. So we were already in like some conversation, kind of laughing, carrying on. He looked so happy with his drink. I didn't even really think about it too much. And then I instantly kind of like, in my head, 1,000 things was going through my head. And I was like, okay, I'm testing myself. He don't need to know too much about, my situation. Matter of fact, he told me his ex-fiance had passed away because of alcoholism. He drank it basically, I guess. He didn't tell me how or anything, but he just said he was alcoholic and he ended up passing away like 2 years prior. So I was like, oh, that's sad to hear. But I didn't tell him too much about my own personal business. I was just like, yeah, I don't drink that. I'm trying to play it cool. So I'm like, yeah, I don't drink that much. I had my issues with alcohol in the past. So like, he's like, okay. So he just poured me a little drink, just a little itty bitty drink. And I told him to kind of like drown it hard with the orange juice. It was tequila. And I sipped at it and I'm testing myself in my head. He don't know I'm going through this, but in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm still not, I know I'm kind of like effing up because the goal was to see how long I could go without doing this. and I'm challenging myself, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not really doing it because I needed to be more relaxed, because we were already talking, we were already kind of vibing. This is our first time meeting face to face. I was like, so it wasn't because I needed it to like give me courage or anything like that. No, so I don't really. The taste is not the taste of it that's getting me. And I said, aha, I think I know what it is. He's already had a drink, but he's have a drink in his hand, and it's kind of like this social thing that what I'm doing, like it's a drink in my hand. I said, well, I could have asked him for, some water or some tea or whatever. I didn't even bother. I'm running all of this shit through my head. Before I know it, I had the drink. So at some point, conversation, dies, and it's like, okay, well, we can go upstairs and watch TV in my room, whatever. So we're doing that, and I had to be up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, so we ended up going to sleep. Yo, that one drink, I didn't feel it until it was time to wake up. I woke up a little bit late. I woke up at like 6 o'clock. I wanted to be waking up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I ended up waking up at like 6, 7. And I was like, what the fuck? My head was spinning. It felt like I had an intense hangover. Like I drank a whole bottle of tequila. It was like I had a serious hangover. And it reminded me of that feeling that I said, I don't want to feel like that again. It's not that I'm saying I never ever want to drink again in my life, but I was like, I don't want to feel like that ever again. And that's the exact feeling that I had. And I was kind of mad at myself because I was like, it wasn't even worth it. Like, I feel like I'm hungover, like I drank a whole lot, but I really didn't. I don't know what this feeling is. And I was kind of mad at myself because I was like, it wasn't even worth it. Do I count this as me having to start all the way over from day one again? And I just analyzed my whole entire process up until that point over and over again. I was beating myself up about it. So I'm saying that to say I experimented and toyed with the idea of, how I can, I don't know, I guess it's a test of myself. I don't want to go off of what other people's story has been. And, you hear it a lot. Oh, everybody's got the same story. If you don't go 100%, you're going to end up dying or coming back or falling or whatever. I'm like, as long as I'm at the forefront of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and I know in my mind what I'm doing, I don't need to lie. I don't need to perpetrate. I don't need to try to like prove anything to anyone else but myself. So I enjoy having that free will. And I don't feel like I need to be a part of a club or anything. Yeah, I'm good. One of my best friend is like almost 2 years sober now, and he didn't ever go to a program. He kind of started off like I did and just knew he didn't want to drink and he didn't want to feel how he felt anymore, so he stopped. What I'm saying is everybody has their own journey. So fast forward, it's August 9th. Things are a lot better. Me and Duke out here on the road. I'm happy. I'm kind of like over trying to date and trying to put myself out there. I'm just kind of over it. That's another thing I'm going to say. So I quit with the alcohol, but me and the sex kind of intensified a little bit more, and it was more like I replaced the alcohol with sex, and it was like almost like I was giving myself excuses to dive into that sex addiction more. And every time, a lot of times it was just a bunch of talking and, exchanging the pictures and setting things up and not going through with it because I would feel like shit. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm just fucking bored. Like, the circumstances where I was in was like, it was rainy the last couple of days. So it's like, I can't go nowhere. I'm stuck in this place, whatever. Oh, let me just get on the apps and scroll. Nobody's around, nobody to talk to. So I'm just like bored. I'm doing this shit because I'm bored. So I went ahead and brought my computer on the road with me and my Switch so I can start playing video games to occupy my time when I feel bored like that. Start journaling. I'm supposed to be doing the videos, but like I said, that's been so crazy and busy. I fell off. I have reconnected with one of my exes. We've always had a really solid relationship, friendship. We just lived in two different countries, so things kind of fizzled out for us. And he now lives in the States. And I feel really comfortable reconnecting with him. He's in a very healthy place in his life. I'm, rebuilding my own life. And it's been a pleasure talking to him and kind of reconnecting, rekindling that flame, because it stops me from even desiring to be wanting to seek out fulfillment in anyone else right now, which is not saying that I'm using this as a filler, because it's not filling any void or anything. It just feels more comfortable. I don't feel like I need to be out searching for anyone to talk to or whatever. We already connected. We already have a vibe. So my birthday is on the 22nd, and I'm going to be going up there to Newark, NYC, to visit him and give myself a week off. So I've been working my ass off for the last 3.5 months. So I'm going to take a week off up there, go check him out, check out the scenery. I'm going to take a trip up to NYC and just enjoy myself. And it's been so long, I had to really kind of slow down and realize it's been so long that I had someone appreciate me so much. He's like, I just want to let you know, when you come here, he's like, I know you didn't say anything, but when you come here, I don't want you to worry about money, food, anything like that. I just want you to come, bring yourself, and I got everything covered. I'm like, oh, well, that's nice of you, but I'm good. I should be able to manage myself. I'm good. I appreciate it. After the phone call, I had texted him and I was like, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate, how you, dropped that on me. Like, it's been so long since someone said or done anything like that for me. So I was just like, whoa, that was a big deal. Like, anyway, I'm rambling at this point. I feel like I am. So I know some people say if you relapse or you have a drink or a slip or whatever, don't start all the way over. Just stop that day for that day that you drank and then pick back up. So I guess if I do it that way, I am 37 days, 38 days. So I'm good. What else? I feel like there's so much more, but I think I've been working all night. I started working at 11:30 last night. I'm sorry, I started working at 10:30 last night. It is 7:30 right now. And I'll be working for another hour and a half, 2 hours before I can actually shut down. So killing time right now. The YouTuber Slick Nick, I watched some of your videos while I'm driving. I don't watch it, I listen to it while I'm driving. And I want to encourage you to keep going. I would say the first week is kind of difficult and tough, but doing your video, your vlog, if it helps you, just do that. And just know that I heard when you said, you're riding by the dispensaries, you were having a hard time, so I'm assuming that you smoke. And even in the AA groups, they have this thing called California Sober. I don't know what your aim is in your sobriety journey all the way. I have to go back and start from the beginning of your videos. Um, but I mean, do what works for you is all I can say. It may be easier for me to say that now because um, I have so much time under my belt, which I really don't. I'm like baby walking it right now. Um, as far as from the very beginning till now, I would say find what works for you. And just like you said, you were in your head. The the first couple of weeks is mainly you in your head, and you have to get out of your head about what you're doing and why you're doing it. I suffer from anxiety and have some depression stuff every now and then. So, I mean, if that's what marijuana was for you, I'm not giving you advice, but I'm saying you do what works for you in any given moment, any given situation. You know what feels right and you know what feels wrong. I would say definitely if your goal is to like be done with alcohol or at least be done for a while with it, um, get rid of the alcohol and do whatever else that feels good and works for you. For me, it was alcohol. So I was in my head, and I realize now, looking back at it, how much pressure I was putting on myself in the very beginning. It's almost like I feel like everybody was watching me. I would see other people out drinking, and I not even think about it sometimes. And I would feel like they were looking at me like, "Oh, who's the guy with no drink?" Nobody is paying me no attention. I was seeing people walk out of the store with cases of alcohol or bottles of liquor, and I'd be like, kind of low key judging. I'm like, oh, they gonna get hammered. Oh, look at that person still just. I'm like, why am I judging? Who am I to judge? Why do I care? Or do they know me? I wonder if they know I was drinking as much as I was. A lot of that shit is self-talk. It's in your head. Maybe it's some shame. Maybe it's some guilt. Looking back at it now, I don't really think too much about it. Anyway, y'all, that's the video because I gotta get my dog together. I might do another one when I stop, when I got a lot more clarity, a lot more free time. This is my vlog. It's August 9th. I would say my sobriety journey has been pretty good, depending on which way you look at it. I would say overall, the benefits of stopping drinking for me has been very, very helpful, very well worth it. I find myself working through stressful situations, anxiety, depression, all of those type of situations. I find myself working through them better. I'm not having emotional problems, emotional deregulation. I'm not having those type of problems. I'm able to like sit with my feelings and not feel things and make it drive me to something to cover up what I'm feeling. I'm able to sleep at night, even if I have to like be frustrated or cry or get mad, or just a lot of times I spend time just thinking about memories of some effed up situations I put myself in from drinking, or stupid things I did, or things I allow people to do to me. Like, there are a lot of times I reflect and reminisce on some of that stuff, and it just makes me feel so shameful, so guilty, so stupid. And I'm like, I'm coming up on 36 years old. I'm looking at friends who got their lives together and degrees and careers. I got a career and everything, but like I'm starting my life completely over. I'm rebuilding from the ground. And I understand now why a lot of times like a therapist would say, you don't have to be on social media or don't go on social media. And I get it, because sometimes that stuff can kind of trigger you to be in a depression just looking at other people's lives and what they're doing, which is why I'm doing these videos. These videos don't go to my family, my other social media accounts. When I do go on social media, I go on there, browse real quick, look at funny stuff. If I find myself being invested in someone else's page or what they got going on too much, I shut it down. I can make this video, post this video, drop it, and let it go. I'll get an alert if somebody sees it. If somebody responds, I'll get an alert and engage. Other than that, I make the video and let it go. Get out of your head so much. Um, just be aware of how you feel. Take inventory of yourself, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and why you're doing it. And I think everything else will be good. Yo, I'm Corey. I may do a video later. Peace out.